What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me whatever you'd like. Let me hit play over here. Not play. Stop. Mr. Huggy, Frank, Nicholas, Chuck Saws, Schizophrenic, FPV, Dan Richmond, CMYK, Chuck Saws again, Finn FPV, Northern Tier, Dan636, Brandon's Baked Beans, Grizz FPV, James Flores. What's up, friends? If you want to talk directly to me, just tag me by typing my name, CiottiFPV. You don't have to put an @ in front of it, but you can if you'd like. That'll light up in orange, as you can see here, and I'll know you're talking directly to me. CMYK says, whoop whoop, how you doing? I'm good, man. FinFPV says, how we doing today? GrizzFPV says, CMYK FPV, how goes it? Dan636 says, the way you enter roles looks so good, man. Thanks, Dan. I try to go into roles with a little bit of flair is a word. I don't know, a little bit of kind of, you know what I'm saying? Just a little. With the whole desk is shaking. Yeah. I try to give it a little, like, a lot of times I try to, like, swing into a roll. Like, I'll give it, like, a little rah! And, yeah, I don't know. It looks a little more natural, you know? Like, it's kind of robotic to just go dead straight and just whap! Like, it looks cool, but it looks like a robot, you know what I mean? Whereas if you give it, like, a little, just, like, you're going, you know you're gonna roll left, you just give it a little, like, and it just gives a little, you know, that's how, like, in my opinion at least, one of the reasons that our flight footage looks so good when edited down to dance music is that we're dancing, you know, like we're taking a camera up in the sky and we're dancing with that camera. A lot of the things that we do have some yeah, they have a little bit of like core in dance, which is actually really cool. Maggie has a big background in dance, belly dancing, salsa, bunch of other more fancy forms of dance, and it's cool. Like seeing her watch some of this stuff is pretty slick. Like seeing what she picks up on and what she digs is pretty cool. And like, yeah, it's something that we talk about every so often is sort of like the connection with dance between what we do. And so yeah, a lot of like the sort of movements that we do, you know, like you don't typically just like and wonder, I guess maybe you do, but there's you know, there's a little swing to it. That's it. There's a little swing to it, which makes sense for me. At 9 years old, I started taking private drum lessons from a pretty famous jazz drummer named Tony DiNicola. So I've had that kind of swing in my life forever. Chuck Saul says, do not read this. Rob Axelson says, hello, gangly man. What's up, friends? Nickel Sticks, I just happened to see your comment, but if you type CiottiFPV into the chat, it'll light up in orange, and that's how I know that you guys are talking to me. Otherwise, I'll assume that you guys are talking to each other. Nickel Stick says, are you running a session 4? I'm not. I had a session 4 for a while. I was attempting with the session 4 to kind of show how cheap you could produce pretty decent flight edits and get decent flight footage. So I flew a session 4. Well, I guess what happened is I bought a GoPro session off of eBay, and they said it was a session 5, and when it showed up, it was a session 4. No, not off eBay, off of OfferUp, actually, I think. And so I messaged the person. I was like, this is not a session 5. Session 5 is a $200 camera. This is a $100 camera. And I paid less than that. But they said, you know, you can send it back if you want. But I said, why don't you just refund me the difference in price between the two of them? And they were willing to do that. So I said, screw it, and I flew it for a while, and it's okay. It's I'll say this: the Session 4 is every bit as durable as a Session 5, which is kind of cool. Which is to say that it's like unbelievably durable. Like, I don't think we will ever get any component, any camera in FPV that will come anywhere near the durability of the Sessions. It's just, they're just a whole different animal in terms of smashing them into hard objects at ludicrous speeds. But the difference in image quality between the session 4 and 5 is real. Like really, really real. So yeah, I will more than likely not get another session 4. It's worth it to me to pay the extra for the session 5. I don't know if I've got 2 semi-working and 2 fresh session 5s right now. This might be it for me. Once I get through these sessions, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I really haven't been impressed by the... I was about to say I'll probably go for the DJI Action 2, but I don't know, man. The flight footage that I keep seeing from it, it just doesn't look good. It just... I don't know if we're just so used to GoPros, but I'm not. I'm not so used to GoPros. I'm used to GoPro, RunCam Hybrid, Insta360 Go 2, and there's just something about the DJI Action 2 footage that looks like a bag of shit, in my opinion. It's got like a weird distortion to it or something. I don't know. It just doesn't look good to me. I just don't think it looks good at all. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe the price on Session 5s will finally come down on eBay. I don't know. I think they're up around $200, and that's a bit much. The most expensive one I bought was $160, and I said, you know what? I'm probably not going to pay more than $160. But I don't know. We see. Abraham says, we all know you have a background in belly dancing. Don't be projecting on your lady like that. Yeah. I don't know a thing about... I mean, I know some things about belly dancing, but my muscles do not activate in the way that they need to do the things that are required for that. And my beautiful girlfriends most certainly do. It is wild. What's up, Carbon Cage? Cool. Caught up on chat already. I don't... the Postal Service... fucked me. Go figure, right before Christmas. And the 0803s are not here. So I can't fix the, which is in the title. No, it's not. I took it out of the title. Yeah, I can't fix the main 75mm rig because I don't have the replacement motor. So this guy must go back up here into its little garage. The other thing I was going to do is put a BT2.0 connector on this, but apparently I don't have one of those. I thought that I had a couple of BT2.0 female connectors, but apparently not. So can't do that on here either. At which point, I've got this rig and I've got this rig. This is built with a Newbie Drone V2 AIO, which they pretty quickly discontinued. I think that there are gyro problems with it. These 1102 19,000 kV Happy Model motors are direct soldered on here and doesn't fly all that well. It very obviously is getting too many vibrations or too much electrical noise. I'm very tempted to put this into a 65mm frame. But then I have to direct solder motors to it. And if I direct solder motors to this in a 65 frame and it still has problems, I'm going to be pissed. This over here, these are the rigs that I was using to do all that motor testing on the 75mm motor-to-motor rigs 6 months ago or so. This guy is a Newbie Drone V1 AIO. That I've never direct soldered anything to. So more than likely what I'm going to do is rip this apart and put it into a 65mm frame because I have a fresh set of the Happy Model 25,000s. So I think that's what we're gonna do tonight. I could leave this in here and do 2. No, I can't do 2S. I keep thinking that I'm going to be able to do 2S, but I can't. There's no AIOs that don't overheat when you put 2S through them on these little guys. So pretty sure that's what we're going to do. I'm pretty sure we're going to rip this apart. This was a total, like, it's all janky. There's all kinds of extra wires and shit going on, which was just being used for testing. So I think I'm going to pull this apart and, yeah, or what I could do is take the cacophony of wire connectors off of this and direct solder these 1102 18,000s and see how it flies as a 75. But I don't know. What I like about these motors is they have a 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, which is going to be stronger. So this could be like a basher 75 rig. The problem is these 1102 motors don't fit through the frame. So in order to direct solder these motors up, they have to be here, and then I have to do all my soldering with the AIO and the wires all up in my shit. And that is just awful. So I don't know. And my hunch is that 18,000 kV is not enough. The testing that I did with the 0803 22,000 kV motors, they had a ton more power. I wonder what the stator volume difference is on an 1102 versus an 0803. Let me show you guys how to calculate that out. Ghost Branch FPV with a 10-pound super chat. Brother, thank you so much. He says, it's almost Christmas. Everyone, let's get this man his M1 Mac Mini. Here, I'll start chipping, everyone. Ghost Branch, so I am doing, and anybody else that hasn't heard me talking about this, I am doing the 12 hours of Christmas again this year on Christmas Day from 4 p.m. until 4 a.m. That, I think, a chunk of that, so, and the deal, just like last year, is, if there's $100 an hour, basically, I start the stream off not wearing the annoying, scratchy, way too hot, bright red onesie pajamas. But at some point, when we hit $100, I have to put at the end of that hour, I have to put the onesie on. And then I have to wear that for the next hour. If we hit another $100 in that next hour, I have to keep it on. If we don't hit another $100 in that next hour, I can take it off for that next hour. But then if it gets up to another, every time we hit the 100 mark, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, I have to then put the onesie on, wear it for an hour. So hopefully that will go, well, financially, and not well for my skin. And the M1 Mac Fund will absolutely explode. So don't go too nuts tonight. Save some of that Christmas money for Christmas Day, and we'll go bananas. Ghost Branch, thank you so much for your generosity. Very, very cool of you. Hopefully I see all you guys there, because I'm also going to do a whole bunch of giveaways. And I'm not like scheduling the giveaways out. Like, you just have to be there and you have to be hanging out. Basically, when I see that there's a bunch of concurrent viewers, I'll do a giveaway. I don't know how many I'm going to do, but I'll do a bunch. I'll do a bunch of giveaways on the 12 hours of Christmas. In the Christmas spirit. Maybe I'll do like 6 giveaways, one every other hour or so. Something like that. Or maybe I'll wait until 3:50 a.m. right before the stream ends, and then I'll do all the giveaways all at once. So yeah. I am leaning towards, I really want to do another 65 build. Because I really do think that in the house, 65 is the way to go. On the 0802 25,000 kV motors, it's a really good amount of power. I think with the BT2.0 it'll be it'll really be rocking. I was really impressed by the 75 mil builds that I just put back there on the 0803 22,000s. That was really something else. So here's how you figure out stator volume. You're gonna do a Google search for something like volume of a cylinder calculator, because that's all we want to know. All we want to know is the volume of the stator. So here it is. You need the radius and you need the height. So the radius is half of the diameter, so you're going to have the width of the hi we owe to you as well, B-Man. So you're going to have the diameter. So we'll start with, what are these, 1102? So 11 cut in half is 5.5. That's our radius. And they drew you a pretty little picture right down here. This is your motor stator here. This is the 11. This is the 2. So the 11, they actually want the radius, pi r squared and all. So 11 cut in half is 5.5. So that's why I did that. So that's the 5.5. And then the height is 2. So it's an 1102. So there we go. 190 basically is the volume. So 190. Type that up into the URL bar so I don't forget. And then we're gonna compare that to an 0802. So 08 becomes 4. That's half of 8. And then 03 for the height. Wow, really? Is that right? I was thinking that the 0803 was going to have a lot more volume. Wow. So 190 versus 150. I feel like I'm doing this wrong. Is that possible? Here's what my sort of mental math was basically saying, that 0803 versus 1102. Right? Taking the stator height, 2 versus 3. 3 is 50% bigger than 2. That's a huge amount, right? Versus 08 in width versus 11 in width is not as much of an increase. Did I do this wrong? I typed the numbers in right? 0803. 4 for the radius, 4 doubles into 8 for the diameter, that's the 08, and the height is 03. Huh. So what this means, the reason that I'm so blown away is that the T-Motor 0803s, which are 22,000 kV, made a bunch more power than either one of these 1102s. These are 1102 19,000s, and these are 1102 18,000s. And I ran them all on these GemFan quad blades. And the 0803 22,000s made significantly more power. So what that means is, it's all about the well, it means two things, I think. A, the biggest factor there is the KV. I think the biggest lesson that we're learning there is that 18 and 19,000 kV, even on these quad blade GemFans, is just not enough RPM. And that just by virtue of going up to 22,000 kV, we're now generating... This is still a really small propeller, right? Like, I was thinking of these as like a bigger propeller compared to the 65 millimeter motor-to-motor whoops. This is a 1.6 inch propeller. This is a 1.2 inch propeller. So I was thinking, you know, these propellers are way bigger. So there's that. But here's the other thing. When you look at a stator, the winds, I don't have one handy, but you guys have all seen motor stators before. The copper goes up, over, down, and back. up, over, down, back, up, over, down, back on each one of those motor poles. When the motor comes, when the magnet comes across, the vertical part of the winding is the only part that's pulling that magnet. The part of the winding that's going sideways ain't doing shit. It's actually kind of wasted. So the vertical part of the winding is the only part that's doing any work. And so when you go from a 2 millimeter tall vertical winding area to a 3 millimeter tall vertical winding area, that's going to do a lot more work. Whereas when you increase the size of the can, when you increase the width of the stator, that doesn't increase that height at all. So it does more work, but not as much as the vertical. So then the next question is, oh, okay, well then why wouldn't I just run a motor that's 1,000,000 millimeters tall? Because you start to run into cooling problems. So you have to balance the stator height with the cooling of the motor. But yeah, going from a 2 millimeter tall stator to a 3 millimeter tall is a big ass change in that vertical part of the winding that's doing the majority of the work. So that, I feel like, also has a lot to do with it. The stator volume is only a part of the story. It's a really good thing to know, but this is a perfect example of the fact that it not being everything. The difference in stator volume is huge. 190 versus 150, that's a big deal. But the motor with a lot less stator volume makes significantly more power. Definitely partly because of the KV. Definitely. But also, I think, because, yeah, the vertical area is doing more work. So then it's like, oh, well, fuck the 1102. Let's go to 1103. No. 1103 is going to be too much motor, I can almost guarantee you, for this size of a propeller. Maybe if they did like a 5-blade 1.6 inch propeller, maybe then 1103 might work. But the other thing you're going to run into is you're not going to find an 1103 that's a high enough KV. With Tiny Whoops, we're pretty limited on our motor selections, unfortunately, in terms of motors that have a high enough KV for those of us that want to do freestyle stuff and get big bursts of power, rather than putting the nose down and racing. So yeah, I know the racers don't go as high on the KV because they don't want to kill the battery. They need the battery to last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 laps. But we don't care about that for freestyle. So Schizophrenic FPV says the volume increases exponentially by the radius and linearly by the height. You get more out of increasing the radius, but you increase the motor's moment of inertia. That's another problem with a wider stator. Is it is heavier for sure, but the weight is going outwards, and then the wider you put weight, the harder it is to move. But yeah, so there's when motors have a lot, there's a lot going on with different sized motors. It's not just the height and the width. It's the KV, it's the cooling, and then there's a bunch of shit that we didn't even talk about. There's the air gap. There's what magnets they actually use. In the specs, when they tell you what magnet they're using, they're lying. None of the, they're just don't bother. Don't pay any attention to which magnet they claim to be using in the specs, because all of the motor manufacturers are just bold-faced liars, or the people that they're buying the magnets from are bold-faced liars. But there's a lot that goes into a motor that has just as much to do with the amount of power it makes, the efficiency, all that good stuff, as just the height and the width. All that being said, like 5-inch motors, for example, yeah, most of the motor manufacturers are kind of sort of level pegging at this point, so it's not as much of a shit show. But with micro motors, it's still a total shit show because everybody, it's just there's not enough of them, and there's not enough people flying them, providing feedback for them to figure out, like, oh, okay, this is what the air gap should be. This is what the proper magnet is for us to run, and on and on and on. Frank Nicholas says, in a motor 2 millimeters versus 3 millimeters tall, you know nothing about how tall the vertical part of the winding is. Just because the bell provides more space doesn't mean the winding post is taller. The vertical measurement of the, so 0802, for example, the 02 is actually not the measurement of the bell, Frank. It's actually the measurement of the stator. So the 2 millimeter tall stator, it's supposed to be. Every motor I've ever measured it is. So yeah, we are actually getting with the stator height measurement, we are actually getting the height of the stator poles, and then the winding is going to be ever so slightly more than that. Although on the corners it starts to make an angle, so it's probably about the same. But yeah, we actually do know how tall the vertical part of the winding is with that measurement. Schizophrenic FPV says, but increasing the radius does increase the amount of copper that's going up and down. It does not. It only increases the amount of copper that's going sideways. Because of what I just said. Because the measurement of the height of the stator is the height of the stator. And each stator pole is kind of like this, and then the winding comes up like that, and then it winds up on the top. So regardless of where this is, unless there's more stator poles, then we will get more. But typically on these small motors, there are not. Typically on these small motors, there are only ever 11 or 10 or so. Hey, by the way, I think I'm on top of Joshua and It's Blunty. You guys should go watch them, not me. I usually start at 8 o'clock tonight to not be on top of them. But I want to wrap this up a little bit earlier so I can head up to Maggie's and hang out with her and the kiddos. Abraham says, size is above, you did it right. Thanks for checking my math. Dusty Joe says, just got 2004 in from FPV crate. Too big for a Ripsqueak 3-inch? Yeah, a little bit. 2004s are more for a 4-inch propeller, or a oh, they finished already? Cool. Or they or maybe a 3.5-inch prop. But yeah, a 3-inch prop is going to be a little too small for a 2004. You can try it. I mean, it'll run. You'll just be carrying around a little bit of extra weight for no real reason. Athix says the FAA court hearing gets kind of spicy. Did it really? I didn't watch the I don't know. I didn't watch anything. Patio Patterson says they finished at 7:10. Very cool. So yeah, there's some motor talk. I'm actually going to change I'm going to put motor talk into the title of this stream. I'm going to take out BT2.0 install because I realize I don't have it, and motor and stator talk. All right, cool. Tyler DD says, so I did something today. I ordered DJI V2 goggles, Caddx Nebula Purvis, and a ton of accessories to go digital. What have I done? You have invested in an FPV system that will allow you to see where you're going. That's what you've done. I'm very jealous of that. Let's break some time loops. So I guess this goes back on the shelf as well. Sad, but let me actually, how are these motors holding up? Are they all wibbly wobbly? I've tried my best to not beat the shit out of this rig because it's because it's kind of an Insta360 Go carrier. But to be really honest, now that the Insta360 Go 2 exists, I don't know if I'm ever going to use the regular old school Insta360 Go again. Just because, like, I don't know why. Like, the Go 2 looks so much better. So I actually think I'm going to pull this this guy off of here. You know what I mean? And I also think that I'm going to pull this antenna off of here. Let me pull this off, and I've never really weighed this. This is the little bunny ears, is the nickname for it. Insta360 Go 1 mount. This thing flies like shit with the Insta360 Go 1 on it. It does fly, and you can absolutely get some really interesting footage with it, but yeah, I mean, it's not that much quieter than the Insta360 Go 2 rig, so I just don't think it makes much sense. So away it goes. Taking it off. Motor Talk, Chuck Sauls says. Raw Pix FPV says, what's the best all-up weight and prop for all... For all? What's all? What word was I groping for there? For RCX 1306 motors, if I prefer lighter, punchier quads. It's a tough question to answer because, like, I don't know how much lighter or punchier you are looking for, right? But what I can tell you is my favorite prop at the moment for those motors is the Dow 3028, Dow T3028, 3028, and my favorite build with those motors at the moment is the Ripsqueak V1 with a Runcam hybrid in it, which I was actually flying a little bit earlier today. So I would go that route if it were me. You end up with something that's got really, really nice flight characteristics and a little bit of throw, a little bit of everything. It's a really nice all-arounder. It's sort of the perfect freestyle 3-inch rig, in my opinion. With a 3-inch rig, you're not going to be flying big spots. Doesn't make any sense. It's not the tool for that job. And yeah, that combo flies beautifully in spots that are the correct size for a micro. And your all-up weight, depending on how you build it out, is going to be anywhere from 220 grams to somewhere around 250-ish. All depends on the specific parts that you use. I'm trying to see what the hell. So I used anodized aluminum screws to try to keep the weight down a little bit, and I'm trying to see what size they are. I guess they're not that well. Maybe they are that size, but it just that driver just rotated in the screw. Yeah, that driver is wrecked. So yeah, Raw Picks, that's my that'd be my suggestion. I have hey, by the way, this is my full-time job. If you'd like to see me keep on going with all this nonsense, head on over to CiottiFPV.com and click some buttons. Joining my Patreon is the best way to help me out. It's the closest thing that I have to a paycheck, and quite frankly, it's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck in terms of getting good content. You're going to get audio versions of all these live streams that you can just listen to as podcasts. You're going to get email notifications when I go live. You're going to get Facebook notifications through 2 super secret Facebook groups. You're going to get access to all of the tech articles and random stuff that I post over on Patreon. You're gonna get a handy under the table. You're gonna get a no, wait, no, you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that. Sorry. You're gonna get access to the Discord server with all the beautiful people in here. It's you want to do it. You want to do it. That's for sure. There's also a bunch of affiliate links to stores like FPV Crate, FPV Cycle, Get FPV, Amazon. If you have any last minute Christmas shopping to do, if you use my Amazon affiliate link, I will get 1 to 6%, probably 1%, because Amazon are stingy bastards. Yeah, lots of good stuff going on there, going on over on that website. One of the things on the website is what's it called? Fiverr. A link to my Fiverr page. And on Fiverr, I do one-on-one build planning, flight instruction, and tuning. And the build planning is something that's pretty valuable in my opinion. I forget why I went on this rant, but I don't know. I needed to do my shill, and now I've completed my shill, so why the hell? I wanted to mention the build planning for something. What were we talking about? Things? Many things? I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell, all that good stuff. Help your boy CiottiFPV chase his dream of being a full-time FPV weeb. Let's see what the bunny ear mounts and the 2 aluminum screws weigh. The TPU mount itself is way heavier than I thought, 1.3 grams. And then with the screws, 1.5. So this will be cool. This thing just lost 1.5 grams. That's exciting. I don't think I'm going to put this back on there. Anybody want to buy an Insta360 Go? Because I haven't used it in a while, and I don't know if I'm going to use it. I really don't. Just because of the Insta360 Go 2. If I didn't have the Insta360 Go 2, I would still be using it for sure. But yeah, I don't know. There's just not quite enough of a difference between the two of them, I don't think. So I'm sorry. There's too much of a difference in the quality of the video between the two of them to justify it. What there's not enough of a difference is there's not enough of a difference in the noise level between the 75 mil motor to motor rig and this 65 rig. The 75 mil rig can carry the Insta360 Go 2. So it's kind of like, why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? Greg Nicholas dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Thanks, dude. Avix says, judges asked some tough questions, but they asked a lot of the FAA. They asked at one point if the FAA can access info today, and they said yes. He leans into remote ID being possibly unconstitutional. Ooh, that's cool. That's cool. I like the sound of that. Grizz FPV says, oh yeah, CiottiFPV got the Dow 3028s, and man, was I surprised by how durable they are. Yeah, they're really good, man. They're really, really good. So I got a fresh piece of VHB here for this B-Seaver. This is Newbie Drone's little tiny ultra lightweight receiver, which on this build I like to stick right to the back of the camera here. Perfect little spot for it. So I'm just going to remount this. And then I'll be pretty much done with this rig. I'm very interested as to how this is going to fly with 1.5 less grams on it. I could save even more weight by chopping down the length of this cable here, but I'm not going to do that. It's fine. I'm pretty nuts when it comes to shaving weight, but there is a limit as to how far I'm willing to go. And yeah, this is my limit on this one. It's tough to solder to the corners of these Acro B boards, and I just, in the grand scheme of things, I just hate working on tiny whoops. It's like I can work on a regular micro, but god damn it, these tiny whoops are like exactly small enough that it's just infuriating to work on. I know it's not just me. I don't know. I don't know why it's so maddening to work on these things. It's just, I feel like a giant. I feel like a monster. I feel like a crazy person. Like my fingers are made of sausages. I mean, they are, but you know, I don't want to feel like they are. So, just trying to figure out a way to get this up in here. And I'm also trying to route the little antennas while I'm at it. Yeah, like I feel like I have to, I keep like reaching for tweezers because my fingers don't fit anywhere in this goddamn thing. Okay, here we go. There we go. That's in the right position. And I'm pushing it into the VHB here. Should be good to go in a second. All right. Let me just get the bottom part of this VHB stuck here. Okay. That should be good to go. So, now I've got the one antenna going forward the way that I like it, and then the other antenna is kind of going backwards. So basically I've got the antennas doing a little one of these. Probably doesn't make a difference because it's just old school FR Sky, and this really only gets flown in the house. But hey, every little bit helps, right? The 1306 Ripsqueak that I was flying around today is on an FR Sky RXSR, and I was I don't know, football field-ish away, and it got a little micro failsafe, and I was kind of like, wow, that's not a lot of range. And so now that's got me thinking about taking one of those ghost receivers and putting it onto that Ripsqueak. Which is funny because I was kind of thinking that last night. I had like a fleeting thought of doing that last night, and then I was like, nah, that's stupid, don't do that. But now, I don't know. The plan was to move all the Ripsqueaks over to Crossfire Nanos. And I think that the 1306 rig is the only one that is not on a Crossfire Nano at this point. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that'll be the little test rig for the Crossfire Nano. Sorry, the Ghost versus Crossfire comparison that I want to do. We'll see. I'm not. I haven't fully made my mind up quite yet. Let me make sure that these little solder joints are still okay. Not the joints, but the wires connected to the joints, and they're totally fine. Okay, so we're good. I am going to leave this antenna because this is a rig that I'm recording the DVR from coming into the goggles. And I want that DVR to be as clean as possible. And these singularity antennas do a really good job of making that happen. So we're going to leave it on. This screw is apparently refusing to be magnetic. Come on, you jackass. Well, let's just do this. Let's grab it with tweezers, put it where it belongs. And then drive it home. Anybody else, like, when they work on a tiny whoop, just want to burn the entire earth to the ground? Or is it just me? Is that just me? That's just me. Oh well. It's okay. It's not just me, it's every single one of you. And you're lying if you say otherwise. Does anybody out there enjoy working on tiny whoops? If so, get out. You're not welcome here. Ah! Hold on. Hold on. Getting behind on chat. Michael Blade's in the house. Athix says, what's the motor screw size on whoop motors? It's like M1.2 or something. It's smaller than 1.5. It's I never actually figured it out, but yeah, it's smaller than M1.5. Patio Patterson says, I'll buy a Go one. How much you want? I don't know, whatever a little bit less than whatever they sell for used on eBay. There's a chance I won't sell it, but I doubt that. I haven't really thought about selling it, but I really might as well. Because yeah, I've got the Go 2 and I've got the Best Buy protection plan on it. So yeah. Make me an offer, Patty, and I probably won't say no. I still have like the original box and all the accessories and all that good stuff. Ruby Tim says, Chuck Sauls, next time you want to ask Ciotti a question, type his name, spell his channel like this, CiottiFPV. Chuck Sauls says, please do not buy Spectrum stuff. Spectrum sucks. Yeah, nobody buys Spectrum stuff. It's bad. It's for wings. Metadirtskin says, it's not just you. A tiny whoop was the only build I ever totally gave up on. Nice. Chuck Sauls says, does acro mode really mean no mode? Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, with all modes turned off, that's basically acro mode. The PID loop is running. There's no assistance. There's no nothing. So yeah, no mode is actually a semi-decent way of thinking about acro. Because you're not turning on any of the other modes. And acro doesn't necessarily mean that air mode is on either. So even with air mode off, you could still consider that acro. AthixFPV says, JB messed up his acro V3 at the race. I popped in and said you were looking for a V3 board. Might want to talk to JB. Very cool. Schizophrenic says, why no ELRS? Just not yet. I am going to go down the ELRS rabbit hole, but I want to at least try Ghost first before I irreversibly flash it to ELRS. The other reason is that I don't really plan on buying any ELRS receivers. I would love to get a AIO whoop board with ELRS built in. From what I'm hearing, that might not be the way to go. So I might actually end up buying one Express LRS receiver, but we'll see. I want to see what happens with the whoop boards. So this guy's good to go. I don't have any batteries charged, and I didn't fly it with the thing on it. You guys love when I rip around the house with the tiny whoop, though, so I'm going to throw a couple batteries on a little charger here. Where's the... There it is. Yeah, I'll get a couple batteries on charge, and then we'll start tearing apart these other whoops, and away we go. Thanks for that tip, Athix. WamFV says, time for ELRS. Soon. Very soon. Just not yet. Jellin says, do you have any tips on removing props from whoop motors? As a matter of fact, I do. You're going to go down to the description of my video, where there's a bunch of affiliate links, and there's a little tools section, and this is one of the tools in that tools section. There's a link to it, so you can just click that, and then it'll also trigger my affiliate nonsense on Amazon. This is what you want. This is the Weha Chip Lifter, part number 26810. The tip looks like this. It's curved, and it's absolutely perfect for sliding right on in there and just prying up and getting the propeller off without ruining the motor. You can still ruin the motor, but this is the closest you're going to get to not ruining the motor. This is absolutely what you want. You guys should all have one of these. Not expensive. $7, $5, I don't know. Whatever it costs, it's well worth it. Ricardo says, have you ever had a micro prop halfway stuck on the motor shaft? Happened to me a couple of times. I had to break it with a plier. I can't say that I've had that happening. GrizzFPV says, sorry, I love building all sizes of quads. GrizzFPV is a lucky person. His brain is wired in a way that I am jealous of. Yeah, I can't believe, I can't say that I've ever had that happen, Ricardo. That sounds really annoying. JT Custom Knives says, I did a build on ELR swoop board, and it's amazing. Drop a few pictures in the Discord. Be right back. Awesome. Okay, so we are good here. Yeah. Just trying to think of what I forgot. I don't think I forgot anything. Plug that back in. I got the, oh, I do want to route this antenna wire a little differently here. I want it to go over this bundle of wires. There we go. All right, that's all I wanted to do there. I want to make sure this little wire bundle is as out of the way as possible within reason. And I want this antenna sticking up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so there it is. This, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, is the indoor tiny whoop. Newbie drone Acro B V1, although the V3 is also supposedly pretty good. Goober Canopy with their camera. True RC Singularity, a little short antenna. It's like 1.7 grams. Happy Model 0802 25,000 kV motors. Gem Fan 1220 4-blade propellers. With ideally you would do a BT2.0 connector and then the WeBleedFPV Newbie Drone Gold batteries with the BT2.0 on them. This is a weapon, man. This will change your life forever in a good way. Change your life forever. If there's a tiny whoop that's going to change your life, it's this one. I can't guarantee it's actually going to change your life. But if there's one that's gonna, this is the one. Hey, there's the... I was looking for this. I thought that I'd left it at Maggie's house. I'm glad that it's here. Okay, so I got a couple batteries in here. Let me just dig them out. And we will... I just hit my head on the light. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Oh! I do have a... Oh, this is what I was... Okay, we're putting this bitch on BT 2.0, yo. Damn it, I just had it apart. That's super annoying. Hold on, I'm just thinking about how there's really not a whole lot of room to maneuver this thing. Hold on, I'm just thinking about this for a second here. No, it's worth it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. It's worth it. Well, let's do it at the end of the stream. Let me charge a couple of these guys, and then I will fly it on the PH 2.0, and then we'll swap it over, throw the BT 2.0 on it, because we have some other stuff to do. Throw the BT 2.0 on it, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to feel a difference. I really doubt it. I really, really, really doubt it. But we're going to... For science, right? Get in there. All right, so those three, PH 2.0. Oh, this isn't going to be a fair fight. Well... There's no questioning that the BT 2.0 makes a difference, okay? Here's the reason why this isn't going to be a fair fight. The batteries that I have charging just right now are the Newbie Drone 250 milliamp, which is all I really want. I don't, like, that is plenty of runtime for me, for freestyly stuff. These WeBleedFPVs with the BT 2.0s are 300 mAh. So it's going to be a little bit heavier with these, but it's going to have the BT 2.0. So I'm actually, I do have the Newbie Drone 300s with the PH 2.0 connectors on them, but I prefer those 250s. So I'm going to do this test with the 250s, because if the extra weight of these 300s eats up the advantage of BT 2.0 versus PH 2.0, then the exercise is pointless. You know what I mean? And I would rather stay on PH 2.0. You know what I mean? I'm actually going to... Let's get a weight difference. Let's look at what each one of these batteries weighs. Yeah, I don't care about the extra runtime. That's not something that matters to me. So we've got 6.8 grams for the 250. Oh boy, 8.3 for the 300. Wow. That is a significant weight difference. I'm not going to change this rig over. I'm going to build another rig with BT 2.0 on these same motors on this same AIO. How about that? That's the move. And then I can test the rigs head to head. There is going to be a little bit of a difference because these motors have had the absolute hell beaten out of them. But that's okay. You know? So I'm going to get all these batteries charging because hopefully by the end of the stream we can test both of these. How's that sound? I'm behind on chat again. Right9 says curved tip for sliding right on up there. It's what you all want. Yeah, FPV 2021. Patio Patterson says go on Facebook Marketplace is $100, but the lady hasn't responded in a week. I'll give you 120. Mine just took a crap, and I have too many mounts. Not ready to move on. Patty, I'll sell to you for $80. Fuck 120. Unless you really want to send me 120. How about this, Patty? Send me whatever you want. If it's more than $80, we're good to go. Go to CiottiFPV.com, scroll down to the bottom, there's a PayPal button. Click that PayPal button, send me however much you want, and then shoot me a message with all your info. First name, last name, address, and email address, and I'll ship it on out. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Cool. This, I wasn't, I was frustrated that, like, the things, I really wanted to fix the 75 millimeter whoop, and I was frustrated that the PyroDrone package didn't get here, and I was, like, kind of thrown off with this live stream. I absolutely love that, that I kind of figured things out here. And I also love that we're about to build another 65 millimeter absolute hair on fire shredding tiny whoop. know what I'm saying? So I'm going to sacrifice one of these for the BT2.0 on it. I'm going to need that. Let's check length. Probably want it full length, but if I need to cut it down a little bit, I will. Basically going to make it the same length as this right here. Wait, no, other side. Ooh, that would have been a real shit sandwich. Yeah, it's pretty much full length. Look at that. We've got a BT 2.0 lead. Look at me go. Look at me now, Mom! It's a thing people say, right? All right. And there we go. So now, and this is good too because the Acro B V1 board that I'm about to use has a 2S power lead on it, which I would need to remove anyway. Cool. So I'm still tempted. I'm still very tempted to try to do this build with this V2 board. But then we're not going to get a proper comparison. I would love to think that this board works. I have to direct solder anyway. I'm going to use this board, I think. I'm going to use this board. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I can build the whole thing outside of the rig. Yeah, I'm going to use this board. There's a chance that these motors are out of balance, which is why this board had issues. I know the Happy Model motors are balanced. So if this continues to cause me problems, then I'm 100% sure that the board is the issue and I can throw it in the goddamn river. So yeah, that's what's about to go down. Is I'm gonna figure out for absolute certain whether or not this board is usable or not. And if it's not, I won't be super angry because I'll have myth busted. You know what I mean? And then next Wednesday, I can swap to the other board and all will be right with the world. So let's get it. Schizophrenic says, thoughts on XT30 on Whoops? I run one on mine. XT30s are a little too heavy. A little too heavy for Whoops. Rugi once did a little comparison chart of the weight and resistances of PH 2.0, BT 2.0, XT30. And the BT 2.0 seemed to be the sweet spot of weight versus lower resistance. With 1S, we're not dealing with a lot of voltage or amperage, so there's a chance that the little bit of an improvement in resistance between the BT 2.0 and the XT30 doesn't really do anything for you. Hey, I'll throw in this little mount too, with the Insta360 Go 1. Just do me a favor and remind me. I'm putting the mount right on top of it though, so you probably don't really need to remind me. All right. These little guys can go here. So yeah, let's pull this thing apart. Let's figure out once and for all if this V2 newbie drone board is cursed or if I'm the cursed one. I think I'm gonna do this one. So the other one is all blacked out. So I guess this one I'll do in a white frame, in a clear frame. So let me grab a fresh, clear newbie drone frame, and I could put a fancy colored camera on it. Should I go with a little blue action here? Should we go, or should we go all clear? Now that blue looks better on the black frame. We're gonna go all clear. Where'd the frame go? Put the frame over here. Yeah, we're gonna go all clear. We'll have one all black, we'll have one all clear. That'll be kind of fun. Or not. Here we go. JT Custom Live says, okay, pictures posted in the Whoop section. Steady Eddie says, I'm keeping my newbie drone 65s on PH2.0, putting my 75 and up on XT30. That's a really good idea. I like that. Oh my god. I'm very behind. Mackenzie Stoles with a $10 super chat. Thank you, dude. Started building Race Whoop 30, but I'm confused in regards to the motor sizing, like 2305.5, 3000 kV, 6S, 3-inch, and why it doesn't adhere to the usual stator / kV sizing. Maybe you could explain. Mackenzie, I gotta be honest, I'm not totally clear on the question that you're asking. Started building a Race Whoop, but I'm confused to the motor sizing. So if it's a Race Whoop 30, that would mean that it's a 3-inch, right? So you wouldn't want to use a 2305.5. 2305.5 is a 5-inch motor. I mean, it's a motor that's big enough for a 5-inch rig. A Race Whoop 30, I'm assuming that's a 3-inch propellered rig. You're going to want a much smaller motor. Hold on. Let me search the internet for Race Whoop 30. Race Whoop 30, what the hell is that? Flywoo, HGLRC, who is it? Is it HGLRC? Is it Flywoo? Cinerit? No, it's HGLRC. Alright, so this is what is being built. Let's take a look. Alright. I mean, so one of the things that you can do that's really, really valuable is, like, if you guys are building something, if there's something similar that's a bind and fly, look at what motors they've chosen. Typically, they haven't chosen the right motors, but it's at least going to get you in the ballpark. The manufacturers they don't have anybody working for them that flies, I don't think. So sometimes it feels like they're just throwing a dart at a dartboard to figure out what motors, but usually it's not that bad, and they're getting better about it. So when we take a look at this bind and fly one, we see that they're using 2105.5 motor. Aolololololos 2105. That is one hell of a big motor. What the fuck? Why are they using such a big motor? How heavy is this thing? Come on, give me a weight. Wow, 312 grams. And more than likely that's without the battery. Holy. What on earth? Oh my god. I mean, I guess it is a race rig. Jesus. Wow, okay. So this is tough. I would never use that big of a motor. But see, for me, it's Cinewhoop. My brain is locked into Cinewhoop mode, where you're not racing. You're not looking for racing performance. Wow. That is a big ass motor, 2105.5. Here's what I'm going to say. I think it doesn't tell me the KV of the motor either. My suggestion for a motor is going to be the FPV cycle light and crash resistant. No. It's over 300 grams, guys. That's not light. Good Lord. This setup here is probably like 7 million grams. Good Lord. Full-size GoPro 7 on there. My suggestion for motors are going to be the FPV Cycle 2204s. You go to the website, in 3500 kV. Where they at? The Cinewhoop motor. It says 23. I thought they were 24. Aren't they 24? Did you change it again? No. 20. No, it used to be 20. It used to be 22. Now they're 23. I think this is what you want here. 23 millimeter short, 3450 kV. That's going to be enough kV for a 5-blade propeller on 4S. And yeah, I think this is going to be your motor for that rig. If you want more than that, they do have the 23 millimeter tall motor, but then I think this is going to be too much, and there's not a high enough kV. So yeah, this 23, this is a 2304, and yeah, 3450 kV is the right amount of kV. The 23 millimeters refers to the width, the stator width. Bob doesn't specifically call out the stator height, but the stator height is 4 millimeters. So this in normal motor nomenclature, this is a 2304 motor, and yeah, I think this is going to be your best bet. Wow. I can't believe how heavy that race whoop is. Good Lord. That's incredible. So there you go. All of that is assuming that you're going to be racing with it. If you're going to be freestyling with it or flying it like a Cinewhoop, it's a whole different scenario. But if you're going to be racing with it, I think that's your best bet in motors. Brandon's Baked Bean says anything over 80 goes into the Mac Mini Fund. 80, what do you mean? No, just when people specifically, when people do a super chat, and they specifically say, you know, this is for the Mac Fund, that's when I add them to the Mac Fund. So like Ghost Branch, for example, his 10 pounds. Did I add it? I hope I added it. Ghost Branch, let me know if I didn't add your 10 pounds to the M1 Mac Mini Fund. Well, here, I'm just gonna do it again. Oh boy, that's the wrong button. I kind of feel like I might not have added it. So there we go. There it is in there. Thank you, Ghost Branch, again. All right. What else do we got here? Really good question. I'm happy to have learned a little bit more about that race whoop. Thank you, Mackenzie. Jellin says, do you prefer newbie drone frames over Happy Model / Beta FPV frames for whoops? I do. The newbie drone frame is more stiff, and I'm a big fan of stiff frames. I am. Don't say that. Don't say that either. Definitely don't say that. Don't say that on the internet. Moving on. Yeah, the frame that the racers I think have settled on is the Meteor 65 frame, but it's very floppy, which I think is why they like it, because it ends up being a little more durable. But with the floppiness, you can't crank up the tune or turn down the filters as much, and Tiny Whoops really need all the help they can get in terms of the tune, because they lack power. I'm very tempted to do this build we're about to do on this Meteor 65 frame, but man, I have a whole bunch of these newbie drone frames, and they don't really they don't break all that often for me, so I don't know. I'm gonna keep it in the Cockroach 65 frame. I don't think you can go wrong. I think they're both really, really good frames. Yeah. It's also pretty easy to move a rig from one frame to the other, and they're so cheap, so just buy them both. And then, everybody crashes a little bit differently. Maybe the way that I crash, for whatever reason, doesn't break these Cockroach frames. I've heard a bunch of people bitch and moan about the Cockroach frames breaking, and I have broken one of them, but that's really it, and I pound these things. So, Ramdonko says, been using only BT2.0 from when I started. I heard the performance difference. Did swap one out recently as a fix for power outs. CiottiFPV and all. Very cool. Mackenzie says, I agree, but they're using 2305.5 2800 kV on a 3-inch race whoop. So here's one of the other things going on, Mackenzie. I think that they're going so big on the motor because they're not supporting it with enough kV. I have a feeling that HGLRC just continued to go bigger and bigger and bigger on the motor size because that kV is way too low. 2800 kV is way too... Well, unless they're building it for 6S. Oh, they're building it for 6S, so that's all out the window. 6S is stupid anyway. Don't run 6S on a micro like that. Run 4S. You'll have a much more... you'll have a much better time with AIOs not catching on fire. So yeah, I think that those FPV cycle motors on 4S is going to be a way better setup for you than trying to get an AIO to not constantly explode on 6S. Schizophrenic says Racewhoop is an open source Racewhoop platform. Yeah, I knew that. I just didn't know anything about like the all-up weight and stuff like that to be able to recommend a motor. Chris Croft says Racewhoops are high-power Cinewhoop for racing. Brandon's Baked Bean says Racewhoop is a chonker, but it's kind of neat. Local buddy has one, and he literally just smashes through ghost branches and bushes in the woods. He does break props a lot somehow, though. That's interesting. Huh. Mackenzie says height KV 2800 or higher. I think he meant to type AIIGHT. Schizophrenic says, I have a Racewhoop 3D printed 2207. Jesus Christ. 2750 kV motors on 3-inch 6S. Posted a video in your Discord. My God. Mackenzie says, the newest motor people are running on this 2305.5 2800. If there's here's another option. Try to find like a Racewhoop group on Facebook, like a Facebook group for Racewhoop people, and talk to them about the motors that they've run before. Because, yeah, I mean, that high of an all-up weight on a what amounts to a Cinewhoop frame, and then racing it, that's nothing that I have any experience with. That's nothing that most people have any experience with. So, like, that's Wild Wild West kind of shit. And yeah, that's a pretty specific usage, and with a specific, job, comes typically the need for a very specific motor size in this example. So I would do that, but to be honest, I still do think that motor option is a good choice, mainly because it's going to stay cool. With that much fat on the rig, a wide, thin motor like that is going to stay nice and cool. And when you're racing, you're like digging into the throttle. So I still think that FPV cycle motor is going to be a good bet. But there's actually a chance that motor will not make enough power. I think that it will, but there's a chance that it won't. So do a little bit more research. Ghost Branch says, Now you added it twice, but it was euros, so that might almost be correct these days. Perfect. Demenis says, you don't like floppy frames? I do not. I don't like floppy anything, but, you know, I am getting old. Quasimodo says, sorry I'm late. What's up, dude? Riot9 with a $5.69 Australian super chat. He says, anti-cancel Ciotti Fund or hikers and Pepsi. Thank you, Riot9. Brandon's Baked Beans, here you go, perfect example. Says, those newbie drone brushless frames break constantly for me. I might be a ton rougher on my whoops, though. Yeah, everybody crashes a little bit different. Everybody crashes into different objects. Maybe I mean, here's the other thing. I don't fly tiny whoops a lot. So, you know, Brandon might be flying 20 batteries a night every night. I fly 20 batteries a month, if that. So, yeah, for me, for my usage, the stiffer frame is durable enough where I'm not having to constantly change it. I have like 4 of these newbie drone cockroach frames. I almost wish that they would break so that I can use them. But yeah, perfect example of how durability is really difficult to quantify. CiottiFPV says, I beat the piss out of my Meteor frame at the race, survived my horrible flying. Yeah, I've heard the Meteor frames are just like damn near unbreakable. Gem Fan Hobby says, hey, handsome, looking sharp, brother. Thank you, Mike. Much appreciated. I always bounce back and forth in my head between your two names. And look at that, we're caught up. Cool. Back to work. 8:27. All right, we're not gonna get this build done, but we'll try our best here. So here we go. Let's see how quick I can. Where's the receiver? The receiver's built in. That's kind of cool. Let's see how quick I can desolder and resolder the world's most frustrating motors. The world's most frustrating motor soldering extravaganza. I want to see if I have another short singularity. I don't, but I do have this one that's on a bare wire. So technically speaking, I could rip this UFO off and direct solder this on. But I ain't doing that shit. That's ridiculous. The gray one, left-hand circular polarized. I'll just buy another one. It's fine. All right, so I'm gonna reuse this whip antenna with an H and a W. Right, I'm gonna need to. No, I'm not. Hey, I'll show you guys how the little chip lifter works. To remove the props, you put it under the bottom. You're gonna pinch the motor here on the sides. You're gonna put this under the bottom. You can kind of wiggle it a little bit until it gets to the shaft. That's what she said. And then you start prying at it. And it either ruins the motor or removes the prop. I've actually not ruined a motor when using this tool. Believe it or not. And up it comes. Sometimes you need to kind of just flip it over here. That's not going to work in this case. It's still a pain in the ass, I'm not going to lie. But it's a lot less of a pain in the ass. And again, it typically saves your motors from getting ruined. I'm going to try to hold the motor down on the other side. And just get this the last little bit of the way off here. I try to not have the motor canting on the mount like that because it's not great for the motor shaft. Well, you know, at this point you can just you can just grab the propeller and twist it on the shaft and just kick it right off. So there you go. The nice thing about this little chip lifter is that little slot is like the perfect, you know what I mean? So what you're actually doing is you're putting it on from underneath, you're just sneaking it in there, and then you're just bloop with that little angle, and it just lifts the prop right off, and it pushes it from the middle. You know what I mean? So it pushes the prop up and off from the middle. So in theory, it's not putting any bending force on the motor shaft itself. So yeah, there's that. Anybody want these direct solder Happy Model 1102 19,000s? I don't think I'm going to do anything with these. I guess this would be a good, really lightweight toothpick motor, though, wouldn't it? That's kind of interesting. Might be fun to do a little 1S toothpick. The other way to get these props off, guys, is to pinch the motor bell, to pinch the propeller, and just turn it. The key is to rotate it back and forth, and usually you can kick them right off if you just rotate the prop like that. But sometimes you can't, especially if you don't have girly little fingers like me. All right, so these 1.6-inch props are dead to me. Not dead to me. Not dead to me at all. They're the best. All right, so let's kick these motors off, and then we will romp the new ones on, and then I'll pee my pants. How's that sound? Get some flux going here. Make sure you use flux when you're doing this tiny whoop soldering. Absolutely anything you can do to make it a little bit less miserable is a hot tip. You know what I'm saying? Whoa! Whoa! Easy there, fella. Easy. Yeah, this is not something that any new pilot should be doing. This is a nightmare. I've been soldering for a long time. I've had an unbelievable teacher, and this is very difficult. All right, come on. Come on, you jerk. Get off of there. There we go. That'll be better. That'll be better. Yeah, doing really small soldering jobs like this is a great opportunity to practice all the fundamentals. If you do all the fundamentals properly, use flux, move the work to you, stuff like that, you're gonna have a much better time. He says as he can't get heat to transfer. Am I in the middle? No, I'm not. There we go. Let's try this again here. Why won't the solder melt? Because the soldering iron went into cool down mode, was at 360 degrees. Dan, I think more 3.5-inch props are coming. But I don't know, we'll see. It's nice that Gemfan even has them. Most of the prop manufacturers don't even have them. There we go. Works so much better when it's at 700 degrees. Go figure. Oh, come on now. Get off of there. This is extra hard because the frame is in the way. But this frame is going to be out of the way pretty soon. Alright, those two are done. Let's keep charging forward here. Jesus, come on, man. No room to work with. So yeah, this is one of the other big issues with these 1102 motors in this frame, is that the you have to do your motor soldering exactly like I am right now, which sucks. It would be much better if I could sneak these motors out through the frame and be able to do this work just on the wood block. Because like the frame's all dancing around and shit, this is just annoying as all hell. So there we go. And here's what I mean when I say that the motors won't fit through the frame, right? So, oh, I gotta remove the effing motors. I'm using these cool little M1.3 screws that I don't know where they came from, but they're really nice. All right, so here's what I mean. Normally you can solder the motors up to a tiny whoop AIO, and then take that whole squid and just push the motors through the frame, and you'll be good to go. But these 1102 motors, they don't fit. They don't fit through there. Even without the carbon fiber brace. Like they just won't go. They just won't go through this opening that they really do need to go through. Whereas the 0803 motors do. The 0803 motors fit through this little hole. So because of that, these 1102 motors have to be soldered into place when they're mounted, which is just the goddamn worst. You saw how hard it was to desolder these motors with everything in place. It's even harder to install them. So yeah, there's that, which is annoying. I'm gonna reuse these handy dandy little M1.3 guys because they're just adorable. Maybe I'm not actually. I might have been using them because this has the carbon fiber brace. Dan636 says there isn't an emoji for how excited I am now. Just use the eggplant. GrizzFPV says I'll take those motors off your hands. All right, cool, Grizz. Shoot me a message, and I will hook you up. I don't know what they cost, so I'll look it up, but I'll make you a good deal. Of course. What are you gonna do with them, Grizz? What's your plan for these? If it's a good plan, I'm not gonna sell them to you, and I'm gonna do the plan myself. Okay, last one, and good to go. All right, these are for Grizz, as long as he remembers to message me. I can't tell you guys how many times on live streams I'll go like, hey, who wants to buy these? And then somebody in the chat goes, hey, I want to buy them. And I say, great, message me all of your info and let me know. And then I never hear from them. And then the thing sits on my desk for like months. And I'm like, man, I know somebody was going to message me for this, but I don't remember who the hell it was. But I don't want to like give it away. Right? Like they wanted it. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, I don't know why I had these little washers down here. Kind of interesting. Don't really remember doing that, but I know why I did it. I did it to boost the little rubber grommets up a little bit. I don't remember what the thought process behind doing that was. Maybe they sat down too low on those motor posts would be my guess. GrizzFPV says I have a couple cockroach frames sending a message in Instagram. They'll run, man. They had okay power. They just didn't have as much power as the 0803s. And I'm trying to pick up a 26 gram camera. So I need as much thrust as I can possibly get on my 75 millimeter builds. So they just are not for me. So as an example as to what I mean when I say the motors fit through the frame, this is a Cockroach 65 frame, so it's not a one-to-one comparison. But I can now solder this thing up, and then we take the whole squid and I just put the motors, I just pass the motors down here, like this, and then I just pass the motor in through there, and there it is. And then the motor gets bolted down, and we're good to go. So, because of that, for this build that I'm doing right now, I can do this build on the woodblock. And that is a big deal because this soldering is minuscule and very difficult. So every little bit of help that I can get is appreciated. So first things first, we are going to cut the connectors off of these motors, and that's always painful, but we've got to do it. Newbie Drone chose to use proprietary connectors, not proprietary, but connectors that nobody else uses on their oh, perfect timing. This is going to go with the build that has these motors on, which I have not shipped out yet because I'm a bad jerk man. Yeah, it always feels wrong doing this, but let's just rip the Band-Aid off, and as soon as I cut one off, then I have to do the rest. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I have to do all of them. Okay. Now, actually, I don't have any extra... Oh, wait, I bought this extra set so that I had extra motors. And now I don't. Which is sad. But not the end of the world. I'm going to save these. I'll save these little fellas. Ugh! Just ruined. I'll also try to make myself feel better by saying that direct soldering these motors should give me a little bit more power. So there's that. Whether it actually makes a difference or not in the real world, who the hell knows? But in theory, I'm giving myself a little bit more thrust by doing this. So now we're going to strip a million of these. Oh boy. Patty Patterson's, check your PayPal, I want that insta go. Awesome, brother. Dusty Joe says $10 from PayPal. Thanks for the help. Dusty Joe with a $10 super chat / PayPal. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated on the support. You're certainly welcome for the help. GrizzFPV says message sent. Awesome. Ram Donko says in the future, could you reuse the material, as in return broken props, to save the fish and all of us? That'd be pretty cool. I doubt it. But that's pretty slick. That's a really good idea. One of the things that makes plastic strong is when it's pure, and that's one of the things that makes our recycling programs, you know, like in the cities that we live in, kind of not all that great. Like they're not. Yeah, they're not great. Recycling is tough, man. It's I hate to talk about it because like the last thing I want to do is encourage people to not recycle. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to recycle. It's easy to do. It's the least that we can do, kind of thing. Is kind of my approach to it, right? So we should all recycle, but I mean, just so you know, once your shit gets to the recycling plant, it's kind of low yield. There's a lot of shit that can't be recycled, and yeah, it's a very imperfect system. Like, you'll notice that recycling hasn't saved the planet yet. You know what I mean? It's tough to do. Because like everybody uses a different color of plastic, so now you've got dyes that are just impurities. There are just a lot of impurities in plastics, and that makes it really hard to melt them down and then reuse them in a way that the product that you're making out of the recycled plastic is really strong. And strength is something that we absolutely demand from propellers. So my guess is that that's kind of rough. But GemFan Hobby will know better than I do. That's for sure. It does feel pretty wasteful throwing away so many propellers. Especially for those of us that crash as if it's on purpose. Which is to say, constantly. Alright. If possible, use your fingernails to strip wires. It will protect the inner strands of wire. On a really skinny wire like this, there can be as few as 8 or even less internal strands of wire. So if you use a pair of cutters or a stripping tool and it nicks one of those wires, or even worse, cuts one of those wires, you will significantly decrease the amount of metal, the amount of conductive material in the end of the wire. So don't do that. Use your fingernails. It's easy. Give you a reason to stop biting your fingernails like a maniac like me. Although nothing will ever stop me from biting my fingernails. I don't really bite them anymore. I just pick at them. Like a real crazy person. like a true nutter. Alright, I have to fix something on one of these wires. So when you twist 2 or 3 or 4 or 18 wires together, if you're a complete perfectionist crazy person, if one of the wires gets out of sequence on that little twist, it just looks awful. It doesn't matter. And if you can overlook it, you're a much better person than I am, literally. But I can't. I cannot continue until I know that that's been fixed. This would be a great opportunity to work on that, to work on being a little bit less of a perfectionist. But next time I'll do it. So this is what we got, and this is not gonna stand. I'm not doing this. See that big booger in the middle? That's because they're not perfectly twisted. We're fixing it. Especially because it's an easy fix. We're fixing it. We're gonna do this together, friends. There we go. See, that's all. That's all. It's okay to be a perfectionist. Wait, why is it not? Hold on, why is it? Okay, no, I see what's going on here. This one needs to come over here. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's better. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, keep going, baby. Oh, that's, you know how I like it. That's how I like it. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, shit. That's nice. Oh, that's better. Maggie, we're good for a night. You can just go to sleep. It's fine. I'm satisfied. Sorry. that was probably out of line. Kenny Kobe says you have some serious patience, my friend. Thank you, dude. Also, a lot of practice. A lot of practice building these things. 5 years worth. Oh! Shit. made an error. I didn't pinch the silicone enough. Oh, I got away with it. Pulled the silicone up over the part of the wire that's stripped. Okay. There we go. Okay, these are ready to be tinned. And let's get it going. Ha! Patience does equal insanity in a lot of ways. Or patience leads to insanity, you could say. All right, here we go. Time for some tinning. Okay. All right, one down, two to go. When you're tinning wires, you want to make sure the tip of the soldering iron is on the bottom or one side, and then you want to feed the fresh solder in from the other side. The thought process is you want to try to get solder in between the strands of the wire. So if you're applying heat from one side and pushing the solder from the other side, that's going to give you the best possible chance of getting that solder in between the individual strands. Tinning wires is very, very important. Not tinning your wires is a recipe for a cold solder joint. And cold solder joints are very hard to see. Typically, you will only you won't usually see them. They'll just be there, and then one day it'll just let go. So we're gonna go red in the back right corner by the little antennas. So we're gonna go red wire back here. I think I am actually gonna use the helping hands. I usually try not to, but I think in this case I really do need to. Alright, so let's get this sitting up here and pick a good spot to clamp the board. There we go, that should work, except for the fact that it's in there backwards. I actually want to do it like this. Alright, that's good. So let's pick a little spot here. Give it a little clampy. Okay, cool. So we're gonna put the red one here. I might as well do the BT2.0 while I'm staring right at it. Speaking of, I need to tin those little friends. So BT2.0 has chosen to use blue and white. Neither one of those colors have anything to do with red or black. So, I mean, technically I could just wing it. It's 50-50. Anybody know if white is the ground? I mean, my guess would be that white is the ground and blue is the live. But, I mean, I don't know. How the hell am I supposed to figure that out? Does it say on the head of the connector? Nope. Wow, that's really goddamn dumb. Motodotskin says flat is positive, round is ground. Hey, round rhymes with ground. Look at them go. So that means, yeah, okay, so white. White is ground. So that makes sense. Thank God they did that. Alright. Here we go. Let's get this power lead soldered on here. Blue is positive, Schizophrenic says. Thanks, guys. How did you guys all know that? You just type it into Googie? Goonie goo goo googie gee gee gee. Come on, let go. Come on, let go. Come on, let go. Okay, hold on. Get a little bit of extra flux on there. Okay, let's try that. Oh man, we are transferring heat, but it is just getting sucked up by the ground plane. Good lord. Oh, the soldering iron went to standby mode again. Great. What Erickson says, I got that before I gave up on my own account. JT Custom Knives says, when soldering, it's good to know that solder moves towards the heat source. That's what iron on one side of the wire, solder on the other side. Great point, JT. It's one of the really fascinating things about soldering. It's actually one of the things that, like, I remember at some point someone asked my dad why he enjoyed soldering, and his answer, or like how he got started being an electrical engineer, I think. And he explained that when he found out that solder moves towards the heat, that was like fascinating to him for whatever reason. And I remember thinking, man, that's pretty fucking cool. Like, I kind of remember thinking the same thing. So yeah. I'm going to shorten these up because the board is pretty thin. And I try not to have a lot of overhang. But yeah, solder travels towards the heat. It's wild. You guys have all seen it happen. But like when you actually think about that, that's kind of cool. And yeah, that's another part of the reason why you want to tin in the way that I'm telling you to. All right, I need a little bit more light here, so the light might get a little more dramatic for you guys. So keep your pants on. Don't let me catch you waggling your willy because the light just got so sexy. I can't even see the pad. Where the hell's the pad? There it is. Jesus. Oh, it is just so goddamn difficult to solder to these tiny little boards and these tiny little pads that are on the side. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to cut the end of that off. But otherwise it's fine. Burn the shit out of my finger doing that one. Now this one's got a little weird situation with the insulation, but I'm just gonna like force it, and usually the insulation will kind of burn off. I would usually say do this with tweezers, but I kind of need the feel of my fingertips because it's so small. So in this case, I'll just take the pane in order to get a better result. Alright, so I'm just gonna, it just did the little Hershey Kiss thing because it ran out of flux. And so that's why it does the little Hershey Kiss thing sometimes, is because the when you remove the tip of your soldering iron, the solder wants to chase it because there's no flux left to spread the heat around the pad and everything else that's there. Oh yeah, we are good to go. What's that one? Is that a little hair or is that a strand of wire? Little tiny hair. Okay, beautiful. So we're good to go there. Now we can start zapping these motors on, and now it gets really difficult because, yeah, these pads, like, you can barely see them. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that they're not bridged. They don't appear to be. But with how small it is, I am just going to clean them up. So I'm going to just hit it with a little bit of flux because I'm going to come in with a dry iron. I don't want to add any solder here. And I just want to take the bladed part of the soldering iron and try to put it into each one of these little, like, crenellations or whatever the hell they're called, to just sort of clean each pad up, and you can kind of see. Oh yeah, that looks much better. If you don't have a 5X loop, don't even do this. You will not be able to do this without a 5X loop. If I hadn't looked at this with a 5X loop, I wouldn't see that they are in fact bridged on the bottom. So I actually need to remove some of this solder. So I'm gonna come in here with this solder braid and just try to remove some of this. This is gonna be a son of a bitch. This is gonna be really tough. Alright. Get a little bit of solder on the tip to transfer the heat into the solder braid. That usually works pretty well. Oh boy, this is... It's been a while since I've done this, and I forgot how awful this is. So it's probably good that that I'm not going to get this done tonight, because this is just going to be a maddening exercise in microscopic soldering. I'm very tempted to break this connector off because it is absolutely in the way. But I'm trying not to. I'm trying to not have to do that. But I think I'm gonna break these connectors off because they're the stupid proprietary connectors anyway. Jesus, this is ridiculous. Although now that I look closer at it, they're not actually bridged. There's just extra solder there. Oh, for fuck's sake, there it is. Yeah, they're not actually bridged on the bottom there. They certainly look like they are. But there's like a fraction of a whatever. Alright, well we're just gonna roll with it then, since they're not bridged. Let me clean all of them up real quick. And then I will let's just knock this out. Let's just blast through this and see what happens. Maybe we'll be okay. Alright. Just putting a little bit of heat in each one of these pads because they're yucky from when I pulled the wires off of them. And then we can just start zapping these wires on and see how bad it is. Okay, last one. I don't remember which one I did. Alright, let me take another look here. Okay, that one's definitely not bridged. That one's definitely not bridged. Not bridged. Jesus, is that one bridged? Nah, I don't think it is. Let's just go. Let's just go for it. So the right rear was this guy, and this is where I want to put that red motor. So the motor leads are going to be going that way. So I want to hold the motor in my left hand. Okay. Here we go. I need this light in as close as I can get it. Let me actually do this. I know this ain't gonna look great for you guys, but I kind of need the light to be here. And it doesn't look that bad, so I'm just gonna leave it there. And you guys can bitch as much as you want. Brandon's Baked Bean says, I love my 5 and 10x loops and my 4x goggles. Bot Grinder told me he uses readers from CVS to solder with. That's a pretty good idea. I never thought of that. Alright, let me clean up just a little bit. I got too much shit piled up on top of everything, everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to put the tiniest little bit of solder on the tip of the iron. There we go. And we're going to go farthest away to closest. But what I'm trying to do is get the wire to sit down in the little cutout in the side of the board. Sometimes you kind of can't, but it's kind of important to at least try to get that to happen. Because otherwise they're just going to be so close to each other. So this is actually a good time to add a little bit more flux. Again, just everything, all of the fundamentals. You don't skip any of the fundamental soldering tips. I'm actually going to redo that first one now that I added a little bit of extra flux because it was kind of fighting me. There we go. And I'm going to redo the second one too. Rework, not redo. Good. And the third one. Oh, that flux absolutely helps. All right, and now we're going to take a look. Looking good. All three of them are sat down in the little indentations in the board. And it does not look like anybody is bridged. On to the next. Probably bang this around you guys a little bit. All right, next up, we're going to do a black wired motor. And add some flux. Away we go. Whoo, baby. This is so small. Jesus Christ. Just ridiculous. So this is a problem with doing them by hand is you have a little bit less control and they'll tend to pop off of the pad before the solder cools. But trying to do the first one with tweezers is kind of difficult, so I typically have better luck doing it with barehanded. With my bare hands, B-E-A-R. Know what I'm saying? So what I like to do is get it into position with the tweezers and then release the tweezers, push down with my finger to get it into the exact right spot and then re-grab it with the tweezers. I think that might be okay. All right, I want to rework that first one. Second one looks... I'm actually going to redo all three of them. I'm going to add some more flux, and I'm going to redo all three of them. They all are kind of iffy. All right, here we go. There is something to be said for like getting them tacked down, getting them into place, taking a look, seeing if it's perfect or not, and then just coming back in. See, that one, I just got it to sit down a little bit better into the little spot. Same thing with that one. I just got it to sit down a little bit more cleanly. And let's go for 3. Third one is not as good, but it's probably good enough. Let's see. Yeah, it is. It is good enough. But what the hell's going on here? There's one errant wire from the middle one going over to the third one, which I might be able to just kind of bend back. I think that got it. I think it might actually have just broken off, which is not ideal, but also not the end of the world. First two look totally fine. The third one is still kind of shitty. I'm going to cut this extra long little top part off of this guy. Control where that extra little bit of wire goes so it doesn't fall down in there. And I'm actually going to try to hit this third one more time. I hate to keep putting heat into this board, but I also don't want this to let go. I hate having to fix these goddamn things. And I'm actually going to do this with the loop in my eyeball. So hold on, because I need to get it right this time. So stand by. You guys are going to lose your everything. But I need to be able to see what I'm doing right now. There we go. There we go. Much better. And yes. All right, now we're good. Next, we're going red again. Over here. And here we are. A little bit of flux. And away we go. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. There we are. Not that you guys can see anything, but, yeah. I don't know. Can you guys tell what the hell I'm doing? Or is it just way too small? Ooh, that one sat in there perfect. Oh, man. Ninja shit right there. Top tier. 10,000 IQ. All right. Come on. So another thing to pay attention to, on that little wire there, what I just did is clean up. When I was tinning it, apparently a couple of the little wires, it basically flattened out, and a couple of the little strands of wire were like bing bong, like shooting off in different directions. And yeah, you need to take care of that before you put it down on the pad, because that's the kind of shit that's going to make it just instantly bridge to the pad next to it. So always look at that. If the wire is kind of janky, don't solder it down. Make it perfectly round again before Okay, good to go. That was a good one. And one more wire in black, and we are good to go. And we'll get to see if this AIO board is any good. Nope, 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 nope. Don't forget the flux. This is when you got to be disciplined with this kind of stuff. You can't just, oh, it'll be fine. Like you're just going to waste your time. Got to flex them discipline muscles. Batteries are still banging away down there in the charger. I don't know why they're going so slow, but whatever. Hopefully they're done by the time we get this reassembled. It's going to take some time to put all the screws in and whatnot. That one came out beautifully. I'm going to try to rush this and do them all by hand. Oh, yes. Oh, buddy. Oh. Oh, it's a miracle. Although that one's not good enough. I'm not going to leave it like that. Technically, I could leave it. I think it's just barely clean enough, but barely get it perfect. Oops. Coming a little too close to the pad next to it. Now I think it's good. Take a quick look, and all set. Just cut off this little bit of extra wire here. When you're cutting these little bits of extra wire here, put your index finger on the open side of the cutters to catch the little bit of metal that you're cutting off to make sure it doesn't fall down in the thing. Anything says going in hot and wet. I haven't said that in a while. Brandon's Baked Bean says, I can tell what you're doing. It's hard to see those sidecar castellations, but I know what you're doing. The technique is the most important part. Others can get away. Others can get from this, and they can see it. Awesome. The biggest thing, to be really honest with you guys, about soldering cleanly is just to fucking slow down and just take your time and just realize that, like, it does take a minute. You gotta check your work. You gotta, like, just get it right. Don't half-ass it. Like, I just noticed there's a tiny little piece of solder here. I'm just gonna dig out. There it goes. So now we're good. Yeah, check your work, double check it, triple check it, look at it from both sides, use your 5X loop. Don't half-ass it. You just can't. You can't half-ass it if you expect to have one of these things fly properly and be durable. And for me, I will take my time on a build for more durability rather than having it blow up and break all the goddamn time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just... Like, rigs that break all the time don't get flown. So, don't do that, right? Build them in a way that they're going to be as reliable as possible. And then you're going to fly it more. And then, also, when it does break, you're going to be much more willing to fix it because it hasn't been a nightmare, right? Like, it's been a good rig that's been really durable. And then, eventually, when you do break it, it's like, all right, well, you've been a good little soldier. Let me reward you with some love and affection. And then all will be right with the world. You heard it here first. I don't remember. Do I usually put that through it? Yeah, I put it through the middle part. All right, so the BT2.0 goes through the part. And so now here's what I was talking about before, right? I can squeeze these motors through the little holes in the frame. The little side hole in the frame. It's a little fiddly, and there's kind of only one way that these Happy Model motors go through because the little motor shafts are kind of like extra long on them. But it's totally doable. It's doable and passable. So just take your time. Always remember that everything on these is unbelievably fragile. Take your time here. They have these little hooks on the sides where you can hang an Insta360 off the bottom of this. If I were to cut those off, it would definitely make this a little bit easier, but God forbid I ever want to hang. You know what? Fuck you. The Insta360 Go 1 is the one that you can hang off the bottom of this. And I just sold mine, so eat me, world. Now it'll go through there real easy. Look at this, ready? Whoop! And whoop! Get in there. Get in there. Oh god, it's still... Oh, it's just so frustrating. It's so, like... Oh, this is too small. This is too small for humans. This is too small. This is too small for humans. This shouldn't be. We shouldn't be doing this. This is not good for us. This is not good for our mental health. This is not good for anything. Too small. This is too small. There's small and then there's too small. This is too small. It's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous that we're willing to do this. I'm doing it on the internet. What an asshole. Too small, man. This is too small. I'm boycotting this from now on. Man, is it fun to rip inside, though. Oh, it is so worth it to build these stupid things so that you can then go absolutely ham inside your own little house. Oh. I don't think it's actually worth it. This is, right now, is actually one of the worst parts. Trying to get these, the motors to line up. Oh my god, it's so aggravating. Let's see if I can get it. Ooh! Got one! Usually the first one is the total nightmare. The next two are typically not as bad. Man, I got that one quick, too. Look at this. Yeah, buddy. M1.3. I like using these screws because now I can't work on this rig unless I'm home with access to this 1.3 millimeter driver. I always try to do things that'll bite me in the ass in the future. It's I know it might sound weird, but you know, leave me alone. Let's go through here. I talk some shit up on here, don't I? We be talking shit. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go for two. Maybe we can get two in a row without freaking out. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, it's kind of in the right spot. Don't breathe. Nobody breathe. Hold your breath. Hey! Whee! Suck it! Alright. Other two. I want to work on it over here. Oh boy. Oh no. It's not lining up. Please line up. Not like this. Please. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yes. Get in there. Okay. Oh, yes. Come on. Yes! Oh, I'm a ninja! I hope you guys appreciate all 33 of you. I hope you all understand that you are watching a magician on acid. Nobody in the world. Sometimes I get on a roll with that, but I'm not feeling it tonight. fun. Just try it sometimes. Instead of trashing on yourself, be like overly boisterous about yourself. It's a fun little exercise. Good for you. Come on. Make sure you do it in jest, though. The people that do that shit for real, oh my god. Them some motherfucking monsters. You ever meet somebody like that? Whoo! Those are not people that I can be friends with. Humility goes a long way here on Earth. Never forget that. If you guys are still around, I'm sure you absolutely already know that, but in case you're new here, which direction? This direction. There we go. Here and here and oh my goodness, we're on the last one. What fresh hell is this? This is building a tiny whoop. You know, it's funny. The brushless tiny whoops are definitely a lot harder to build than the brushed ones. And right now, here, this is a big part of that. The brushed tiny whoops, you just jam the motors down into the cups. Remember that? The plastic cups, and it was like good to go. They friction fit, but then when you tried to remove them, you'd rip the motor wires off and just smash everything in your entire house. Riot9 with a $5 Australian super chat. He says, "Work that magic, BB." What's BB? Thank you, brother. Much appreciated on the support. All right, these guys are all snugged up. Look how good this looks. Look how good this looks. Usually you have to use those stupid-ass little Phillips head shitbirds. You know what I'm saying? Look at those little shitbirds. Phillips head? What bullshit is this? Nah, bro. M1.3. Look how sexy that is. Ooh, I want to fuck it and lick it. Oh. Oh no. Oh. That's not something you should say out loud. How did this happen? Why did it go oh, I wanted it to go through there. Okay, we're good. Okay. We're gonna plug this camera in, bolt a bitch down, and we're done. Because this little piggy went to market. I'm going to use this this big long screw for the rear. I'm going to use this one for the front. All right, so let's do that now. This is the front. Phillips said bullshit. Look at this nonsense. Come on. Mickey Mouse shit. Phillips head. The fuck? Really? Come on, why are you not magnetized? Be magnetized. I just put it on the magnetizer. Hey, now it's magnetized. Why is it that the things that you want to be magnetized never are, and the things that you don't want to be magnetized always fucking are? Even when you put them through, I bought a little demagnetizer. Little Weeha magnetizer, demagnetizer. I don't know if it really works, to be honest. You can just, if you want something to be magnetized, just stick it to the side of a motor overnight. And it'll do just as good of a job as that. Alright, I need 2 more tiny whoop screws and then bolt this fucker down. I think I can just bind to it. It's probably got, as long as the motors are spinning the right direction. And then we'll be off to the races. So I just need a couple of screws for the sides. I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to use... Come on, give me a match. Give me a match. Is that a match? No, it's not. That one's too short. Fuck that one. Come on, where's the matching screw? Nope, that one's sharp on the end. Where are the flat on the end ones? Please? Ooh, that one's longer. Is it? Let's see. Yeah, it's a little longer. Give me another one of those. Come on. Please? Nope, that one's shorter. Nope, that one's shorter. What about this one? I think this one's longer. Come on, get off of there. Alright, are you two guys the same? Or are you different? They're the same! Great! Here we go, here we go, here we go! Okay, so we're going to plug this in first. I think that side is up. Oh, wait, now I can see. 5 volt, 5 volt, there we go. Okay, great. So, camera being plugged in. Eventually. There it is. Okay, beautiful. What's the front? Front is this direction over here. Oh. Antenna. Antenna, as Nick Burns pronounces it. Okay. Get on there, antenna. Hey, there we go. Okay, terrific. Wait, no. I want to run this on the other side of this wire. I usually do this little trick. Run this on the other side of this wire, and it helps just hold these wires all in their happy little places. There we go. Oh, sorry, guys. All right, that's the stuff there. Front, back. Everybody's happy, right? That little guy is in a terrible spot, but that's fine. I'll fix that in a minute. This guy's here. Okay, cool. Let's get some. Oh, come on now. Immediately, the magnetization F's me. There we go. I don't think I'm threading into the... Always make sure that it's easy to accidentally thread in between the rubber grommet and the plastic post. Always make sure that you're going into the plastic post itself. That's a really easy mistake to make. Okay. And I always use a big long screw in the rear because this goober canopy is kind of mean to the rear standoff on the frame. So using a longer screw gives it a little bit more strength. That's actually kind of a big deal. So here we go with the rear one. And wow, those batteries are all still charging. What the hell's going on? I don't understand why they're taking so long, but I'm just going to pull them off. They've all been on there for the same amount of time. All right, so let's push down the goober. Nope, I want to tighten this one down a little bit more. So if you push down on the canopy, you can kind of see if it's squishing the grommets too much. And I'm going to give this a tiny little bit more. And that's how you can tell how your tightness is on the screws. This one needs to be a little tighter. Basically, you want the rubber grommet to compress, but then you need it to push all the way back up into the screw. Oh, and this one's good to go on the other side. This one actually might be a little too tight. Let's back it off a little tiny bit. And look at that, we've got an all clear tiny whoop. Isn't that the most satisfying thing you've ever seen? No? No, that's okay. Let's plug it into Betaflight, see what direction the motors are spinning, and then do a little dance. Get in there. Come on. Okay. So we're plugging in. And oh, that was in the little container. Thanks for the reminder, JT. Okay. Well, they probably ship these at storage. I did not get startup beeps, which is a little strange. Well, let's try this again. Hey! Hey! That's a good sign. We've got the cutest, most quiet little startup beeps ever. You guys probably couldn't even hear them. Doesn't matter though. We're just ripping through this. Let's see what direction the motors spin. Fly half a battery. And, yeah, because it's getting late. I want to get this wrapped up so I can go hang out with my lady. Come on, Betaflight. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. What are you doing? Come on. Thank you. Let's go, let's go, let's go. B-Brain. Okay, everything looks good here. Great motors. This is already a flying rig, so everything should be okay. Other than the direction that the motors are spinning. And quite honestly, if they're not spinning in the right direction, I'm just going to put the props on in the other direction. But I think they're good. That's props out. What? That one is, so one needs to be reversed. 2 is correct. 3 is correct. 4 is incorrect. 1 and 4 need to be reversed. Interesting. So, this, did this do the JESC beeps? Was that is that JESC? Let's see. Maybe it's BLHeli. Oh, I meant to show you guys what I was doing. Oh well. Let's see if this will read it. Whatever. What did I say? 1 and 4, right? Yeah, 1 and 4. Normal to reversed. 4 normal to reversed. Right setup. I think this is on JESC because it just says 2.3. Yeah, I get the feeling this is on JESC, which is fine. As long as that reversed the motors, I'm happy. So let's see if it did. One. Hey, it works! Look at that. I didn't know you could do. I mean, it makes sense. Cool. These are buzzy little bastards. So these. That was weird. These little tiny motors, the motor manufacturers don't even bother to try to balance them because they're so small. So they're unbalanced. Let's clean this up a little bit. And D-Shot 300 motor is reversed. Okay, good. Save and reboot. Good call, Riot 9 on the dynamic idle. Come on, Betaflight. Go, 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 go. Connect, you bastard. Come on. My monitor is filthy. Oh, it was ready. I just needed to click the button. Pin tuning. Dynamic idle was set, but for the wrong motor. So we're going to zero the dynamic idle out. We're going to hit save. And we're going to come into the motors tab. And we're going to do this. We're going to put the battery back on it. And come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Okay, we're going to move the master up to 1050. Now, we'll do 1050. No, yeah, 1050. 1050, it's fine. And RPM is bouncing back and forth between 6,700 is the lowest I've seen, and 74, so let's just call it 7,000 in the middle. So 7,000 is roughly the, oh god, it's falling off the table. What did I say, 7,000? So then we're gonna take our little calculator, 7,000 turns into 70, we're gonna multiply that by 0.8, and we get 56. That's gonna be our, it's pretty high too, that's gonna be our dynamic idle value. I'm actually gonna turn that down. I'm gonna turn that down to 50. Probably pretty safe in doing that. PIDs are all cranked because it's a tiny whoop. They run banana PIDs. The PIDs are also all equal. And D-min is at 80, D-max is at 100. I'm actually going to turn this down a little bit because these motors are nuts. These were PIDs from those 1102 motors, which needed a lot of authority. All right, I'm a little bit more comfortable with that tune. Feed forward transition 1, acro trainer angle limit, who cares? Throttle boost, who cares? Dynamic idle is good. I-term relax is 10, dynamic damping 50 and 50, anti-gravity, I'm gonna move that up to 5, we're gonna save it, come over here to rate profile, center sensitivity, I'm moving these up slowly to 20, 700.7, good. Throttle expo is absolutely required for these motors. Usually 0.35 throttle mid and then 0.4 throttle expo is a good starting point, and then you can dial it in. Filtering, I had added filtering because this board is kind of a pain in the ass, so I'm actually gonna add a little bit here. Dynamic notch max frequency, I'm going to push up to 600. The minimum, I'm going to make 100. Dynamic notch Q of 250. It should be okay. And that should be it. We're good. Let's throw propellers on it and get it up in the air. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Propellers, where are you? Here we go. Let's see. Man, those batteries are still not done. What the hell? Why are they taking so long? What do we got in here? Is this 1 mil? Yeah, this is 1 mil. Beautiful. This is the bag that I needed. Oh man, I've made a mess in here. I had cleaned. It was looking so fresh and clean up in here. And then I got all these tiny whoops out. And now it looks like a bomb went off. Alright. That is on the charger. Oh my god, the chat is on fire. CiottiFPV says you can hear the mosquito fart from that little bugger. Riot9 says need to 1 rev, 4 rev. Thank you for the reminder. Metal Dirksen says the newbie drone board I have came with JESC. I guess most of them do. Riot9 says set dynamic idle when you're there. Thanks, dude. Riot9 says it's nice. It's a nice thing to teach people, even if you don't use it often. Very true. And then CiottiFPV says post whoop PIDs to Patreon. A watched battery won't boil. I mean charge. Yeah, that's a good idea, Athix. I wish I was still plugged in, because I would do that right now. High right red, high left purple, high right purple, high left red. There we go. Although, let's put some clear props on the front. We're going to really embrace the clearness. We're going to do clear props up front, and then we're going to do 1 red and 1 purple in the rear. High right red, no, high left red, high right purple. It's kind of banged up. Oh, there's a fresh purple one. Okay, high left purple, high right red in the rear. That's the stuff. These props have all been used before. Okay, cool. The GemFan 4-blade propellers are definitely the ones that you want. I've tested all of the propellers, and they absolutely make more thrust. And thrust is the one thing that you can do to a tiny whoop to really dramatically improve the performance. Of all the problems with the flight dynamics of tiny whoops, a lack of thrust is the biggest one. It's why making them lighter weight is such a big deal, and it's why making them lighter weight has such an amazing effect on performance. There's only so much that I'm willing to do to lighten these things up, so I focus more on thrust, adding as much thrust as possible, basically. So one of the other tricks to get these whoop propellers to sit down a little bit farther on the motors, which is a good thing, is to kind of wallow out the top, the little top hole. Oh, fuck. The little top hole here. So I take my really skinny tweezers, I put them in the little top hole, and I just kind of rotate them around just to open up the little top bit, and then you should be able to slide the propeller all the way down to the point where the motor shaft actually peeks through the top. It makes it a little bit of a pain in the ass to get the propeller off, but it's really good for strength. So you see how the motors are kind of peeking out the top a little bit? That's the way I like it. All right, let's see if it flies. Hold on. Woo! We're going. Here we go. Come on. I can't believe I got this rig done. Holy shit. Okay, transmitter and goggles. Hey, here I come. Okay. Come on, fall off. There we go. Okay. Whatever. Antennas are fine. Okay, let's see. These batteries are not all done, but they have been plugged in for the... Well, let's see where they're at. Let's grab this little battery checker here. And, oh, it's not going to work on that battery. Let's see. 4.27, close enough to being done. All right. These WeBleedFPV batteries are also absolutely brand new. So again, that's just another. This is not a fair fight, and that makes it even less of a fair fight. But who cares? It's fine. It's gonna be all right. It booted. Let's see if it fries. We're going to move to the newbie drone whoop model. And let's see. Oh my God! Okay. Yeah, that's a development. Okay. This is gonna be nuts. I can just tell. That I've never seen a tiny whoop jump up in the air like that. That was wild. Let me give you guys a monitor here. Oh. Oh. All right, come on. Here we go. Here we go. Oh man, that thing fucking jumped up in the air like it got stabbed, yo. Jeez. All right, friends. About that time. It's about that time. Let's get it shredding. Time to blast off, people! This is going to be ridiculous. This is kind of the most power that you can possibly get from a 65 mil whoop, especially because everything is brand new. Ready? Woo! Wow! Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. Ooh! Oh boy, here we go. That's a lot. My god, oh my god. Is it too dark down here? Yeah, a little too dark down there. Yeah, I mean, this is more power. Wow, look at that. I can hear it. I can even hear that it's winding up. Wow, look at the tune, too. The tune is absolutely dialed. Woo! Jesus, the authority! All of a sudden, this apartment feels very small. Let me slow down my fingers a little bit. Oh, shit! Oh, God! A little too close to the record player. Yeah, I mean, this is the... Jesus! Fuck! Hold on, I gotta get the, I gotta put the gates up and, turn some lights on. Jesus, this is rad! Oh my god. That is bananas. Absolutely ridiculous, and I love it. Alright, couple of gates going up. Let's break the new tiny whoop. Alright, we got one there, and I got another one over here. Get in there. Get in there. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh my god, this thing fucking rips. Holy. So the weight makes no difference, apparently. Alright, let me give you guys some full-blown cinematic whoopage. Oh no! Where even am I? There I am. Wow, I bounced all the way down the hallway. Oh, Jesus! Oh my god, the speed! The speed down the hallway, are you kidding me? Alright, ready? Oh god! Oh boy! Jeez! Oh wow, yeah, okay, this is the truth. WeBleedFPV batteries all day. Oh god, oh boy. Whew! Jeez. This is hard to fly in here. No. Jesus, man, I'm like, it's got so much power that I'm afraid to get, like, nuts with it. Oh god. Easy. But what fun is that? Oh, no. So the point of this gate is to get through it backwards. But, Man, is that going to be harder than I thought. So where is it? It's there. So it's here. Okay. So it's there. Nope, nope, nope. Ooh. Am I still landing? 3.2. Why is it not giving me a warning? There it is. Where am I? What is that? Oh no! Oh boy. Well, when I can see the hair, I'm not gonna harm it. And that battery's done anyway. Good God, man. The fucking Stankonia. Holy hell. Alright. So now, bonsai under the Christmas tree. Oh boy. 0802 25,000 kV. WeBleedFPV. You shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did. We're going to go directly to the other whoop on the lighter weight 250 newbie drone batteries that have been run a bunch. And the PIDs should be the same, but I am going to check that. Oh! You know what, guys? The V2 board is fine. That's the yeah, the V2 board is good to go. So it didn't like those motors. Ooh, that is, I love that. So let me check the PIDs real quick. I'm sorry, not the PIDs, the rates real quick. Oh, you know what? You know what's also interesting is on these V1 boards, I have to do this weird thing with the rates here, with the super rates. On that V2 board, it's not making me do that weirdo shit. V1 board also likes to reset the first time you arm it. Oh my god, yeah, that is very noticeable. I mean, this still feels great, don't get me wrong. But yeah, there's a definite difference. I mean, this still rips for sure. Don't get me wrong. You know what's funny? This is actually more controllable. Probably because it's just what I'm used to. Oh, I tried to get through that gate upside down like that. Oh, what's that? Where am I? What's happening? What's happening? What? Where are you, little buddy? What's going on? Wow. Oh, the tunnel, of course. Alright. The ultimate test is the tunnel. Damn, dude. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This still feels really good, though. Really, really good. Woo! Easy, easy, easy. Oh, God. Oh, God, no! Tunnel life. Backwards through the tunnel? Nah. Ooh, 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 God. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I think I'm behind the door. Nah, I'm good. What a fucking yaw. My God! Oh, no. Oh, man, the tunnel run is rough. Oh, 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 Jesus. Yeah, I mean, this, like, as you can see, this still absolutely hammers. But, man, on those, with the the BT 2.0, it's just next level. Oh! That was brutal. Ah, I tried to get through it backwards, didn't quite make it. Backwards through the tunnel? No, not like. Oh! No fucking way! Backwards through the fucking tunnel first try! Holy shit! Oh, a little too slow. Wow, god damn, these things are so much fun to fly. Holy shit, it's 10 o'clock. Oh, yeah, I can definitely tell a difference. I'll confirm that in a minute when I switch back to the other BT2.0 battery on the other rig. But there's definitely a difference. All that being said, though, these 250s with the PH 2.0s are pretty rad. I think I can feel a difference in weight between the two of them, to be honest with you. Let me go back to this other rig. So the weight difference should be 1.5 to 2 grams, which is not a lot until it's on a tiny whoop. Then it is a lot. Dude, this V2 board is good to go. I'm very happy about that. All right, here we go. Woo! Jesus! Yeah, there's a big difference. Jesus Christ, there's a huge, like, this feels like a, oh my God! Wow, this is ridiculous. Oh shit! Oh God! It's the hover throttle is like, is just oh wow, yeah, okay. Oh man, where am I? Oh boy, I'm gonna go. Wow, this is hard to fly in here, man. I'm gonna have to recalibrate. Wow, this is crazy. All right, maybe the I might need to adjust the throttle scaling, or the throttle curve rather. I do. So this is why I put the throttle value in my OSD. So it's that number on the right there, 23, 27, 26, 30. So my cruising throttle is roughly 25, right? As I cruise down the hallway, 27, 28. So if you come in here to profile and then rates, it's all the way at the bottom. Throttle expo is the amount of expo, but then the throttle mid is 35. See, so I'm going to kick that down to 30, and that's going to help this out a little bit. Oh, come on. Yep, immediately I can feel a difference. It's immediately more controllable on the throttle. Wow, look at the authority. Jesus Christ. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if I'd done it twice in a row, backwards? I would just stop flying. Look at this shit! Look what you can do with a tiny whoop. I think I just knocked that gate down. That's how much power it's got. I did. Oh, I went through it. I'm pretty sure I went through it. Nope, didn't go through it that time. Oh, no. Don't do it. Woo! Woo! That look back. Oh, God! I'm finding myself, like, throwing it, and then I just wait for it to come down, but it won't come down because I've thrown it so hard. Because it's, man, look at the fucking speed through here. You guys can see the difference, right? Oh my God, what the hell? Oh, this is wild. Oh, wow. Wow. Fresh 25,000 kV motors, fresh battery, BT 2.0. Let's get into it here. Oh, fuck. Oh, and all the LEDs are on, which you can see on the shining on the walls and shit, and on the ducts. Oh, that was the FPV crate boxes. Oh, got away with murder on that one. Oh, 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 wow. You can get away with so much. Oh, so close. That would have been a full beans tunnel run. Oh, nope. Come on. Yeah, I'll go the other way. Oh, no. My God, I can't get over. Ever since these whoops went brushless, going through that is backwards is fun. Oh boy, that battery nose dove. 3 minutes 45-second runtime. Good Lord. Ever since they went to brushless, the authority on the yaw axis is outrageous. Wow, this is crazy. I'm shocked at the horsepower.
Telemetry lost.
I'm shocked. Damn, that is something else. All right, boys and girls, I think I'm gonna shut this. One more battery. One more battery on the PH2.0 rig. And then we're going to shut this down. Oops, it's upside down. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, nope, it has to reset. I don't know why. I feel like the rates might be a little softer on this rig too. Oh God. But see that? Like, it still gets up and goes like a son of a bitch. And this is the amount of power that I'm kind of used to, so I can probably fly this a little bit better. Oh God. I'm trying to get that wall ride really nailed down. Oh my God. Oh my God. The speed. Oh no. Oh no, I'm stuck in the tunnel. Oh no. Oh no, I'm stuck in the tunnel. Tunnel run is hazardous, man. Hazardous. Get this one back up. Hold on. I'm coming. I'm coming, little buddy. I'm coming, where are you? Get out of there. Wow, this is outrageous. This is fucking incredible. Jesus Christ. What a thing, man. What a thing. Woo! 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 Got it. Backwards through it. There we go. What I really want to do is a power loop through it. That's really why. Oh, like that. That's really why I put these gates where I put these gates, so I can come back and like that. But man, power loop and tiny whoops is hard. Totally doable, but hard for sure. Oh, so close. It's also not all that like you kind of can't even see it happening. I guess you could see it on that one. But the other times that I've done it, you can barely see that it's happening. You just have to kind of know. Okay, hey, buddy, easy. Let's go for a little tour. There's the 15-degree up tilt, Cinewhoop. There's a bunch of upcoming builds. There's all the blown up stuff. Here's the tiny whoop cube. There's the little charging cube. More upcoming builds. What's over here? This is the camera cube. This is the Rip Squeak cube. Oh boy, oh boy. Ooh, the battery's dead. Okay. It's fine. Oh, wow. Wow, what a difference! Are you kidding me? Okay. Okay. Okay, next level. Next level. More tiny whooping to come, friends. Let's get this locked in here. What are you beeping for, Goggles? What is the deal with this goddamn Fat Shark battery? Being such a shitbird. How did it dump that fast? I've been asked that my whole life. These two batteries are charged. I'm going to bring them with me to Maggie's, as well as these two rigs, and rip around there. I'm going to bring the Immersion RC Power Play, and I'm going to get some footage. And then you're really going to get to see the difference. Because she's got that second floor dive, the difference will be night and day, and you guys are going to love it. I'm going to get caught up on chat, and I'm going to shut this down. Still love you guys, though. I'm not going to scroll up super far. Four Eyes FPV says, what camera is that? It's the Newbie Drone camera. This is a full Newbie Drone Acro B rig, just with Happy Model 0802 25,000 kV motors. JRFPV says, fell through the map. Apex FPV says, so you can tell a difference. Absolutely. Demenis says, you're going to make me switch all of my 1S to BT2.0. Yeah, maybe me too. Apex FPV says, Infinity Loops guy can do trippy spins on his 6T. What's 6T? If he's doing trippy spins with a tiny whoop, that's pretty gnarly. Apex says on his 65. Oh my god. Robert Gosselin says, calibrate throttle expo. Yep, we did that. Demenis says, backwards through the tunnel is the shit. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. JRFPV says, what does throttle mid do? The throttle mid adjusts where in the it's the center point of the expo. So normally it's a perfect 45. The throttle mid picks a point in that 45 where it's going to go like this, and it's going to make an S instead of a just straight vertical. For you guys, it would be like this. So this is what it is normal, and then when you add throttle expo, you pick a point with the midpoint and you flatten it out a little bit. So you always want your midpoint to be centered on what your cruising throttle is, so that you've got a little bit more throttle resolution above and below what your cruising throttle point is. And then the throttle expo number is how much it flattens it out, how much of an S it makes it into. Athix says, I think you found the tiny whoop crack. Hit that tube twice, retire champion of the world, says Riot 9. JT says, we need a build list and PIDs for the build posted on Discord. Build list is Acro B with Happy Model 0802 25,000s. Athix says addicts, they always say one more battery. And then Grizz FPV says, don't forget to check Instagram messages. Damn fast whoops, hope mine will be that fast. This now reminds me of the 75 on the 0803 22,000s before it exploded. But this is going to be a lot lighter than that. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I love every single one of you. Here comes some more flying from that church spot. And let me get you some epidemic sounds. I will see you guys again on Friday from studio number 2. Don't know what we're going to do on Friday, but we're going to have a blast at studio 2. Love you guys. Here's some flying at night. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.